Well,
Er,
Alright.
welcome to this episode
er.
of the Tundra Cast, and today we're gonna be talking about Tom Wilson.
Wow. Is that all you got, Rossi?
I don't know. I've never done this before. And then I'm trying to do it, and then Shay's just like in the middle.
That should have gave you more time to think, not say just Tom Wilson and stop.
You know, we're very professional.
No.
No, we're not.
I'm trying to think. My anxiety's going through the roof while I'm trying to start this off, and then
Oh
Shay's
my
just like,
God.
I'm like, oh no.
Holy.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's start off. Tom Wilson. I think that's the first topic. All right, so I think everyone knows it. Everyone is pissed unless you're a Capitals fan or you're like 90 years old or something.
But let's just recap it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Do it right now. So Tom Wilson played the New York Rangers yesterday. And today is the 4th of May, by the way, just in case.
May the 4th be with you.
Oh yeah, that too. So Tom Wilson got into an altercation with Artemi Panarin. It was pretty one-sided.
And Pavel Buchnevich.
Yeah,
And Pavel, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty one-sided. Panarin's helmet was off. His head it looked like it got slammed across the ice. Kept punching him on the back of his head. And obviously, Panarin's not the biggest guy compared to Wilson. Buchnevich, he was the guy who tried to come in and in retaliation, right?
No,
I think
so
it's
what
the other way
happened
around.
was
Oh yeah.
there was a net front skirmish, and Tom Wilson grabbed Buchnevich, who was on the ground, and slammed his head into the ice. Then he threw a couple of rights. Then someone on the Rangers, who I don't know who, jumped on Wilson. Wilson got on him and then punched Buchnevich again. That's when Artemi Panarin jumped on Wilson's back, and they go into the boards, and then later you see Panarin's head off and Wilson throwing his head into the ice.
Okay, so yeah, it was not a pretty sight.
Yeah, so really just Buchnevich just falls into the crease. I mean, you don't need to hit a guy that's already on the ground, I feel like. Like, I know skirmishes happen all the time. I know he's in your crease, but you don't need to throw an extra shot at Buchnevich. But then the thing on Panarin is you don't need to be body slamming a guy either. Both plays are totally like they don't need to happen. Like,
yep, and I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind, unless you're a Capitals fan, because they love this guy, that Tom Wilson should have been deserves a suspension. That was a really, really dirty play, really dangerous play. Because I felt it myself. Getting a concussion from falling on your head, especially if you got body slammed like that, it can put you out for a while. I was out.
Well, that actually happened to me in football, and it put me in the hospital.
throw the shot at.
Mm-hmm.
So he hits like Buchnevich. Who does he hit the shot at? That's on the ground.
Buchnevich. So
Because it's Buchnevich, then he goes to.
He's in the front of
Is
the
it
net.
both Buchnevich?
Buchnevich is on the ground already because he just kind of like fell. And
So
then Wilson,
I'm just watching the video.
yeah, Wilson re-slams his head into the ground and then throws a couple of rights on him.
Yeah, and then obviously the Panarin thing happened after,
yeah.
which was.
Okay.
And someone
Buchnevich hits someone's on the ground. Okay, so he hits Buchnevich in the crease, but there's someone else on the ground afterwards that he hits as well. So he hits 3 people.
Yeah,
Because Buchnevich is behind him. I'm not too sure who he hit there, but
the last time I can think about someone slamming someone else's head into the ice
Crosby.
was when Crosby was slamming Subban's head into the ice in the finals.
And no, I'm telling you, that should have been a
Right.
suspension. But guess what? It's Sidney Crosby.
It wasn't. It's Sidney Crosby. And I guess if you're a Penguins fanboy or just somebody, you can make a case why Crosby shouldn't have been suspended because Subban said his breath was stinky or whatever.
Whoa.
But you, especially with how bad concussions are and how bad it can affect a person for years after. I mean, you look at statistics. They show that people with CTE 75 to 95% of the time, CTE cases end with suicide.
That it's definitely a big matter of discussion because obviously the ruling by the Department of Player Safety and their head George Peros was a $5,000 fine.
Well,
Uh,
according to some people in Tundra, they think that's reasonable, but
I mean,
it's
he was fined $5,000 because that's the max allowed under the collective bargaining agreement.
okay,
And
but
that's the controversial thing. That's what people don't necessarily understand is
he
that
should
it's the CBA. So it's not like it
see.
could change it, but
It
I
doesn't
do agree
matter
with
what the
it's too
CBA
slight.
is. He should have been suspended.
oh, no doubt. I think that's
Keep in
Oh
mind,
yeah.
oh,
Tom
here's the thing.
Wilson was fined $5,000. He makes 44.5 thousand a day.
That's nothing.
yeah.
Like for him, losing 5,000, it's nothing.
Yep.
And here's the thing I don't understand. I'm pulling up this article. This was almost exactly 7 years ago. It was May 12th, 2014. So, Henrik Lundqvist he squirted water on Crosby. He got a 5K fine. You're telling me this like squirting water is just as bad as dragging someone's head on the ice?
I mean, you
punching
can't
someone in the
squirt
back of the head?
water on Crosby.
Oh, that's true. But if you squirt water on PK Subban,
I don't
know,
like. It's not. It's still the same situation here because you got one of the in Panarin, you got one of the best players in the league.
Okay, but okay,
arguably top 5.
let's. I would say higher than top 5.
Oh,
He's top.
that's a different topic, but
Yeah, different topic. But I'll say this: let's just get this out of the way. George Peros is an idiot.
no doubt
yeah.
about it.
I love him as a player. Like he was cool to watch, but
He was cool to watch. All he did was fight. And he
yeah,
got
but
some ice time.
as the head of player safety,
There's so much inconsistency. That's the biggest problem.
he's just so dumb. I
I
remember
don't think he's dumb.
watching.
I don't think he's dumb because I think he's just protecting the guys he played like. Like Wilson is to me is a more skilled version of George Peros. Like Wilson protects old. No, here's the thing. Wilson protects. Sorry, no. Peros protects all these big, strong, tough guys. Every time you see a dirty hit by a dirty player, you don't see them get suspended. However, more recently, you're starting to see more talented players get fined and suspended. 2019, McDavid got suspended. Just this past couple months ago, McDavid got fined. McKinnon got fined. So I just think Peros is being biased towards, the players, he played like, and he's giving harsher punishments to these skilled guys. Which, I mean, sure, sometimes McDavid, Matthews, McKinnon, when they do something bad, yeah, give them a suspension, let them know what they did was wrong. But this is Rafi Torres bad.
Yeah, if you put them in comparison, the elbow that McDavid made, yeah, everyone was mad about that. Should have been a suspension.
I
maybe.
was too.
Yep, but compared to this, and it was the same. What's it called? It's the same punishment. That's insane.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I've been, I'm gonna pull up Predator, examples because of course, I'm a Predator fan.
Yeah.
You look at this a year or two ago, Victor Arvidsson, cross-check from behind by Robert Bortuzzo. His head hit the post. His head slams against the ice.
Oh, yeah.
And then Bortuzzo slams cross-checks him in the back a bunch of times.
Binnington did it.
Yeah, and then Binnington gives him another shot. Bortuzzo was suspended 4 games.
And that's not as bad as what we saw.
What's worse is some people decided to say Arvidsson was diving, even though he was out for 4 months. Corey Perry deliberately elbows Ryan Ellis in the head at the Winter Classic game. 5-game suspension.
Right.
Ellis again out for months. How can you look at deliberate elbows and just stuff like this and be like, yeah, 5,000, 5 games?
I mean, yeah, and like Rossi's mentioned, they got it right before. Like those definitely deserved suspensions. They got suspensions, but then
I would say those suspensions weren't long enough though, because
Yeah.
Bortuzzo and Perry have a history of it. And you could
Long
make a
history.
case like Wilson has some skill while, Bortuzzo just can't do
I mean, some
anything
skill.
but
I mean, Perry was a
fight.
50 goal scorer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't say that for Perry, but like
Yeah.
Bortuzzo, he can't
Yeah.
do anything but fight. So I
But
guess
Wilson's not even that skilled. I remember
We talked about this before.
It was December. Glees made an argument saying Hyman's better. No, sorry, Wilson's better than Hyman. I was like, no, he isn't. Wilson is on a great top six. He's playing with Kuznetsov, if not Backstrom, 95% of the time. Like, I don't think Wilson's that good. Okay, here's the thing. I was actually doing research before this podcast, like way before. So let's look at Wilson's contract. He signed it in the summer of 2018. He was 24 years old. That season he signed it, he had 19 points.
and he was paid $5 million.
Yeah.
Next season, 35. Then he went to 40. The reason why his point totals increase is because he's playing with Ovi, Backstrom, Kuznetsov, Oshie. Before the trade deadline, he was playing with Jacob Vrana.
Yeah.
So,
So he's a pigeon.
I mean,
basically,
I agree with what the Rangers said because
Yeah.
Peros should not
Me too.
be head of player safety.
Yep.
You have to
and-
take a stance when you're the New York Rangers as well. Whenever your guys go down, and for instance, Panarin going down for the rest of the year, you as a club and you as if you're an owner, you have to take stance and defend your players when a situation like that happens. Because when you see a guy like that pull something off like that, doesn't get suspended, just a $5,000 fine, that's a big deal.
Yeah, the Rangers
Yep.
called up AHL talent.
Yeah.
And by talent, I mean people who can fight. And then we all know what's going to happen tomorrow if Wilson
gonna be-
isn't suspended
Oh, yeah.
or Wilson isn't playing.
I'm going to make my prediction right now. And I don't want to see this because I don't want to wish on anyone, but I have a strange feeling that we're going to see a second Steve Moore incident tomorrow.
Could. It wouldn't
Like,
be
remember the outlash? Because here's the thing: with the Steve Moore incident, it started with Moore playing a dirty hit on Marcus Naslund, and everyone
Mhm.
agreed at the time, hey, Moore should be suspended for his actions. He wasn't, so the next time they meet up, everyone. It was mostly on Bertuzzi, but everyone was
Bertuzzi.
The focus is on, hey, Steve Moore needs to pay for what he did to Naslund, because Naslund at the time was the star player for the Canucks.
Yep.
So Bertuzzi, of course, tried to challenge him. He didn't, and we know what happens. He gets punched in the back of the head, ends his
Blindsided.
career. People are dogpiling on him, and this is so similar, man. Wilson's just like Moore, attacking the star player, refusing to fight, and I don't know if you guys saw that, but did you guys see that picture of Wilson in the penalty box?
Yeah, he was showing
Oh
off.
my
He
God.
was showing off in the penalty box.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just
And
such a little like
I
dink. I
don't
hate him.
think.
And he
I
did the
don't
same
think
thing.
he's gonna.
I
don't
was
think-
talking
so-
earlier about the hit on Zach Aston Reese that I
Yeah.
remember very
Mm-hmm.
working and laughing. It's just it feels like, and I look at Caps fans defending him all the time, and it just reminds me of a guy you might know by the name of Matt Cook, who played for the Penguins.
Yep.
And basically ended Mark Savard's career. You can't defend a guy like that anymore. You can go,
No, you can't.
you can go
I
maybe
mean,
a couple
even back
games
then,
to
you couldn't
do
defend him.
suspensions, but like you cannot.
Yeah, because that's just a bad person. It's not
No, I
even
mean
a
Matt
bad
Cook.
player.
No, yeah, he's always
So,
been a
like,
dirty
what
player,
I-
but in the
what I
sense
was-
of they go so long.
I don't think we're gonna see a Steve Moore situation. I think it's going to be a Colorado Detroit situation.
What, like
Oh yeah.
a full-on bench brawl?
It could be.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, like
I
a
think
Claude
it's gonna
Lemieux
go out of
kinda?
hand.
Yeah. And I
I
mean,
think it's gonna be as bad or worse.
because I was mentioning this before, like there is big guys on, and Rossi was mentioning they are calling up fighters and stuff, but Kreider is one of those big guys, but at the same time, there isn't a lot of physical beef on that Ranger squad other than Kreider. Someone that can stand up to. Someone that can stand up to as big as Wilson, as much fighting skill as Wilson, as someone as dirty, frankly, as Wilson.
Well, that's
Like
the thing, though.
the only guy I can think of is Kevin Rooney, and I mean
Yeah,
he's
but
that's it.
it's
Mhm.
going to be a situation where a bunch of people are going to try to prove, their worth. Like, another side story is that the Capitals may be looking to trade Kuznetsov. If
But that's a
Kuznets,
topic for another time.
yeah, if Kuznetsov, well, here's the thing: Kuznetsov could try to prove his worth to
Oh,
the team by stepping up.
Yeah.
I mean, no, he's not playing tomorrow.
Oh, he's not.
He's on COVID
He's
absence.
yeah. No, he wasn't he.
Yeah, he's been.
He's
I don't-
partying. Him and his Russian brother.
We all okay. Like we're getting off topic here, but we all know that Kuznetsov is a bad influence off the ice.
Oh, no
Yeah.
question, no question.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
probably the reason Askarov can't hold on to his stick.
Oh yeah. Okay, so back to Wilson.
All right. But yeah, the Rangers obviously they made their statement, and I was mentioning this in the Discord. I expect a bunch of teams to back them up to
Yeah.
come to the Rangers' aid.
Me too.
Rangers
Except for
are about to.
Washington.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a huge movement to get Peros kicked out, and when that does happen, because it's pretty much inevitable at this point. I don't see how it's not. We're gonna have a new department of player safety head, and
It's gonna be Matt Cook.
I swear to God.
If it is,
I
I'm gonna get
swear to
mad.
God. I swear
You
to
just
God.
know it's gonna
I'll
be
laugh.
someone dirty.
It better not. But
You know what? Brendan Shanahan was so good at his job.
Mhm.
Like, try to hire someone like Brandon. Of course, not Brandon Shanahan, but someone like him that's been around the game for a while.
And also,
like
or just
something like that.
Yeah, simply just bring in Brandon Shanahan as like an advisor to try to get you your new guy. Like, just hire him as your private contractor to get you your new Department of Player Safety head, because we need someone like him. Otherwise, we're gonna have this George Peros problem again in another 5 years.
I mean,
Yeah.
I want Lindy Ruff just so he can say it's a joke every 2 seconds.
It's a Yeah.
joke.
no. Put Don Cherry at the head of player
Oh.
safety.
Gods, no. Please, no.
No.
But,
Oh,
but
yeah.
for real, the Rangers are about to get punished worse than the Coyotes were for drafting Mitchell Miller.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
But here's another thing. Kind of off topic. We don't need an answer from Nick because we already know it's Matt Cook. But who would you guys say is the dirtiest player to ever play on your team?
On your team,
Yeah, like your favorite team. So like
Marty
Toronto.
McSorley. Like in the history,
Yeah, in history.
Marty McSorley.
Man, I got
Yeah,
100 and something years to go through. I mean,
Just say Ty Domi.
I was gonna think about Ty Domi, but I also think Colton Orr too. But I don't know.
I mean, Orr was just like
He was a big guy. I don't know if he did anything crazy dirty, but
not really. He was just a fighter.
I mean, you could say Kadri because he was like a rat. But,
Rats are different. Rats are
Ah.
different.
It wasn't the same. He never did anything this outrageous. I mean, he tripped a couple guys. He might have sandwiched a couple guys, but
There's a difference between rats and goons. Wilson's
Yeah.
a goon. Guys like Kadri, like even though I hate him, Matthew Kachuk, those are rats.
I'd say
They get under your skin.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd say the dirtiest player in Predators history has to be Jordan Tutu.
Tutu's a legend.
I know, I love
Jordan's a
Jordan
legend,
Tutu.
though.
I love Jordan Tutu, but he has to be the dirtiest player in history because
No, your dirtiest
Oh,
player
we
should be
had,
Zach Ronaldo.
oh, Zach
Yeah,
Ronaldo. Yeah, that's
Kasperitis as well.
oh
Zach Ronaldo wasn't with us for long though.
yeah.
he
He
was
played
there
three
for like
games.
he was there for like 3 games.
Yeah, he was still on the team.
Yeah, but I mean
counts.
like players who did dirty stuff on your team, not just like
Yeah, I would just say Marty McSorley.
We also had Matthew Barnaby. Barnaby was known to
Oh yeah.
yeah.
throw
I
some
think for
fists
us
as well.
it would be
Barnaby and
Yeah, I don't know.
Barnaby and what's his name? Kasperitis as well is another one.
just go through the painful years of being a Maple Leafs fan, Coral.
Oh, they were still soft. They weren't exactly crash and bang.
Is Darcy Tucker? I love Darcy Tucker though. Is he dirty?
Not really.
No.
I don't know. I love
No.
Jordan Tutu, and he was like kind of dirty.
Speaking about being soft, I find it. I we're topic here, but I just kind of find it funny how the Leafs had all this toughness and leadership, Nick Foligno, and now he's injured.
Yeah,
I swear to God.
And
it's
It was
crazy.
probably- It was probably Coral. He went back to the thing, and Coral just broke into the
Oh,
arena and
yeah.
started punching him in the face. Just started like beating him. He picked up like hockey sticks, picked up goalie pad.
All right. So, any last thoughts on Wilson before we move on?
Like I said, I don't think it's gonna be too long before Peros is gone, and once that new guy comes in, I don't know if he's allowed to after Wilson plays a game. It might just be, what's the saying? Whatever. It just might just be behind them. But
Yeah.
like the next time, Wilson does something wrong, he's definitely gonna get
A harsh punishment.
definitely, because otherwise that guy's just the same as Peros, and he doesn't want to lose his job.
I honestly think next suspension's gonna be like half a season.
Yeah.
I personally think
It could be.
Wilson should have been suspended the rest of this year, the playoffs, and next year.
For sure.
Well, then
He almost got suspended. He almost got suspended for 20 games, and then he got that appealed, and they dropped it to 14 games.
Oh yeah, I
I
remember
don't know
that.
if you guys remember that, but yeah.
That was like 2
Alright,
years ago.
big-
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
news, big news, big
Mhm.
news, boys.
Oh god,
If you
it's not
have-
gonna be big.
if
It's gonna
you
be a
have-
troll.
No, if you have NBC or ESPN Plus, tune into the Capitals Rangers game tomorrow because it's going to be interesting.
That's big news.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, it's
well,
big news
in Canada,
for a
we
hockey
are
fan.
screwed. So, yeah.
Who said? Just go on
Right.
BLS Sport or something, or NHL 66, something like that.
Not
mean,
sponsored, by the way.
Yeah.
No, please sponsor us, ESPN. We're very professional.
ESPN.
Yeah,
mean,
you don't
okay.
remember our opening. You know how professional
Okay,
that
no.
was. Shut
Yeah,
up.
we're so professional. I won't be watching. I'll probably be watching the Rangers game, but I'll have the Predators game on because they put every single game tomorrow on TV.
You know what? That's one thing I want to say. Like, okay, they have 15 games on Saturday. They had one on Sunday, then they had 4 last night. Like, what the hell?
Scheduling is going to be so much worse next year. It's going to be like 100 games on one day. They're just going to have like 4 games
Oh
in
yeah,
a
there's
day
gonna
or
be
something.
16 games. Because with Seattle, there's gonna be 16 games on one day,
Yeah, it's going to be so bad.
and they're all gonna start at like at 7 p.m.
just why not? You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
let's
we
go
will
on.
move on.
Let's go on to our next topic. We're gonna talk about 2 teams. The first one we are gonna talk about are the Dallas Stars with their 14 OTLs.
Which is as many OTLs as Buffalo has wins.
I am a big believer in the Dallas Stars. Actually,
I'm not.
No,
I actually think
No,
they
not
could do
anymore.
something.
mute Coral.
Wow. Wow.
I am a professional Dallas Stars hater.
Like, first of all, I do think that they can catch somehow. Can they catch?
We clinch tomorrow. We can clinch tomorrow if we beat Columbus and they lose in
Yeah, I
regulation
can
to
see
Florida.
Yep.
Hmm.
I can see that. Never mind. But like, I do think that they do have a really good. I thought that they were doing really good. I thought they had a really good chance of catching Nashville at one point. I thought that they were gonna do it. And
That's what we all thought.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I mean, it was more so Nashville just shooting themselves in the face than Dallas being impressive, I'd say.
No, I think it's the other way around.
yeah, Dallas was impressive.
I think it's the other way around. I think Dallas has been shooting themselves in the face. Like,
Oh, lately, yeah.
like 14. Like, if you win half those OTs, you're at 63 points.
Yeah, I mean-
but like, what's it called? I'm really impressed by Jason Robertson. I think all of us are.
I
Guys,
think he gets the Calder.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's good, but here's the thing: Dallas missing. They don't have any excuses.
Not really.
I would say they have excuses.
Not really.
None
You
of
can't
them-
use the Bishop. You can't use the Bishop excuse because Ottinger and Kudobin have been great this year.
And even then, if they want to say something about injuries,
Every team goes through injuries.
If you want to look at injuries, look at a team. They lost Radulov, Sagan, and Bishop.
Bishop's always hurt, but
Look
I
at-
see your point.
And then look at the team right in front of them. Look at Nashville. We
Nashville,
lost Johansson, Duchesne, Forsberg, Saros,
Arvidsson.
Fabro, Ellis, Arvidsson, Ekholm, We haven't had one single player play
Yossi.
every single game for us. So
Yossi.
there you go. If you know a player on the Predators, he's been hurt this year.
Except one guy.
No, he got hurt last game. He missed
Oh
last game.
wow.
Yeah, he missed last game due to an injury. The Predators have had every single player be hurt this year.
I don't know what that funny this is.
In all actuality,
That's
is
so
that an
unlucky.
actual NHL record for like the most injuries in a season? Because we've had
Yeah.
every single player on the roster be hurt.
Well, I remember. Okay, because last season, 2019-20, Columbus had like 15 guys out, and
Yep.
you're still winning games.
Yeah.
Then the year before that, 18-19, it was the Devils, and like all their top 9 was hurt. 3 of their top 4 defensemen was hurt, and their starting goalie was hurt, and they beat the Oilers 6-3.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but
remember
I mean, if
They had like
if
a
you look
full
at
AHL team.
if you look at Nashville, and then you're just like, oh well, who are they missing? And then you just go Roman Yossi, and they're like, like you just need to just say Roman Yossi and Philip Forsberg. You don't really need to say anyone else, and you already know how severe it is.
Yeah.
But with the Dallas Stars, they obviously have their young star in the making.
No pun intended.
There's a pun.
Because Dallas
Oh,
Stars.
I get.
There was a
it.
pun?
Okay.
I hate Dallas so much.
And then they have their old guys who are not getting any younger. Ben has been
Yeah.
god awful.
A
Dude,
player
Ben
that's
is
been
so
way
good.
under the radar this year, Rupe Hintz.
Oh yeah,
Rupe
Hintz
Hintz
is
has
so
been
solid.
really good.
39
He is
points.
dangerous. He is dangerous.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna be something good for them. He's only 24.
I can say this because
Mhm.
obviously, unlike all of you guys, we've
Whoa,
played Dallas.
Wow.
We've played Dallas.
Wow.
Mhm.
Dallas has 2 modes. They have dangerous offense, or they have derp mode.
What dirt mode?
Derp.
Dirt mode.
Derp mode is them losing 14 games in overtime.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, though, how do you lose that much in overtime?
They probably think like. I'm gonna bet that they just think that overtime losses are worth like 2 points, so they're just like, let's just lose.
Okay, guys, I have an interesting question. So, Kudobin, the guy that kind of carried them to the Cup Finals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then
Yep.
he died in the finals, but he has 2 more years at the 3 mil. He's having a good season. Well, okay, I wouldn't say good, but he's having a decent season.
Solid
2.5, 0.906. Jake Ottinger, as a rookie, has been solid. 10, 7, and 7.
918.
2.23 goals against average, and a
918.
.98 save percentage.
And his goal, his what's GSAA is 6.3, so that's above
Real good.
average. Yep, pretty solid.
So, next year when Bishop's fully healthy, unless he breaks his knee in the offseason somehow.
Like
It's
we-
Ben Bishop. He's not gonna be healthy.
But okay, but if
I love
here's
Bishop,
the,
but he's
my
never
question
healthy.
is, if he's healthy, what's the goalie situation like in Dallas then? Because
well, you got to give
no
it to
one gets
Ottinger.
well, Ottinger and Bishop.
Yeah.
Then where does Nova go? No one's taking that contract for 2 more years at 3 mil.
Here's
And
what I would
and
do.
he's gonna be turning 35.
This is gonna sound weird, but this is what I think. If their forwards and defensemen can stay healthy, have all 3 goalies stay up in the NHL and run with a 3-way tandem.
3-way tandem. See, that doesn't.
I never.
Yeah,
3-way
no,
tandem.
No. You have
Yeah,
a 2-way tandem and your third goalie.
Sure, play 27 games apiece. No.
Yeah, you can have your you have your tandem, because I'm pretty sure tandem is 2, and
Yeah.
and
Yep.
then you have your
Well-
third goalie.
Well, what I mean more like that is you give if instead of like being like you get one, you get one, you get one, is you play a goalie until they need like an off day, and then you play the next.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you can
but
do that
of
with 2
course
goalies.
yeah, but if it's like
No, I don't know.
you get what I'm trying to say. No, okay.
I don't.
But I mean, I guess it depends how Bishop looks next year or this year, or whatever. I guess it just depends.
Like, let's be honest, Bishop's gonna get injured at one point, but I do think they have to play him because he's such a good goalie when he isn't injured.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best in the league, honestly.
Yeah, top 3 probably.
Yes.
At least. And Ottinger, he's your young guy, and he is amazing. He is gonna be amazing. He is amazing now. So those are your two guys. I don't know what you got to do with Khudobin, but might just end up sitting him. They might buy him out. It's 2 years, right? It's not the worst thing.
I will say
Yeah.
the Dallas Stars do have Adam Scheel in their system, University of North Dakota goaltender. He looks really good as well. So maybe you put him in the AHL for 3 years. Maybe you bring him up. We'll see. But he looks pretty good. He had a good year.
I don't know, because does Dallas want to go with the hot hand, which would be Ottinger? Well, if we look at it next year, nobody has the hot hand. But do they want to go with the hot hand coming out of preseason, which might be Godobin, or do they want to go with what works? I don't know.
Well, you obviously go with what works, but we don't know what
You go
works until
Ottinger.
they play.
Yeah.
Right. So and this is the weird thing about goalies. They're weird. Like they're complete
yeah.
voodoo. You have no idea what you're gonna get. You can get the best
Oh,
goalie
yeah.
in the world, one of the best ever in Carey Price, and then he turns into I
Yeah.
don't even know what to call it after he
We can
signs
get
his
Askarov,
10.5. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Askarov.
Askarov at the World Juniors is like Askarov at the World
Wow.
Juniors is the "Hi, how are you, SpongeBob," and then Askarov in the KHL and MHL is the SpongeBob ripping off, being all buff.
Oh, the one where he rips through his
Mhm.
shirt and stuff.
Yeah, like it's like Askarov, what are you
Yeah.
doing? How are you like meh at the World Juniors? Like, yeah, I get it. Team Russia's defense was ass, but like, how are you meh at the World Juniors when you're playing against a bunch of 18 and younger? And then in the MHL and KHL, we were playing against former NHLers and people who could be NHLers, and you post like a goals against average of like 0.7.
What's a point? Yeah.
It was 0.70 at one point,
At one point.
if I remember correctly.
But yeah, that's
Askarov is legit gonna be the new Malcolm Subban.
Oh, no.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be so funny.
Oh no, he's gonna be the new Carter Hart.
Carter Hart's not
Carter-
even that bad.
Honestly, we heard
He's having a
what
bad year, but
yeah,
Come
but
on.
like
He'll
he has
bounce back.
such
He'll
good
rebound.
potential, and
Brian Elliott's doing
He's-
better than him.
he's not doing good though. But what's it called? Hart's probably gonna be your best goaltender in the league for a decent amount of time at some point because he's.
I think Wallstead.
and Wallsted's there too. Yeah.
Wallsted's good.
You're sleeping on Soros. You gotta
No,
look
I'm
at.
not
You
sleeping
gotta
on
look at the.
Saros is just having a hot stretch.
Bruh, he looked like this last year. Okay.
Nice
no.
better.
He is that too, and yes, we're not sleeping on Saros. You're just
He's a good goalie.
you're just
We're
taking
not-
ecstasy.
we're not denying
That's why.
Okay.
Rossi's
We're going Calgary.
I mean,
'cause
I'm
we're just
gonna-
going in
okay, yeah,
circles now.
Calgary. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for this.
All right, the
Um,
Calgary Flames. They suck balls. That's all I can say.
I mean, here's what I have to say about Calgary.
What the hell was that?
What was that?
That was
It was
your
me
sound.
trying.
Wait.
It was me trying to laugh, and then I started yawning.
What?
What?
I just started
Okay.
yawning.
I think we can all agree. One of or both of Sean Monahan and Johnny Gaudreau needs to go.
Yes,
Uh,
no question. There shouldn't. There's definitely no question.
Rossi doesn't agree here apparently.
no, I was more like, okay, so you look at Monahan. Yeah,
He's
can go.
he's garbage, by the way.
He can go because you have Lindholm, who
Yeah, Lindholm.
Lindholm's goated, by the way.
I know,
Uh, But I don't. Gaudreau can be a 30-40 goal scorer in my opinion.
Not
They
40,
also have
not
Sam
30.
Bennett.
No way, not anymore. Oh, Sam
yeah,
Bennett.
Sam
Yeah,
Bennett's gone.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Dude, Sam
That's a rough
Bennett,
one.
point per game.
I know.
He
That's
gets
crazy.
over points per game.
Yeah,
Sam
he's way
Bennett
over
gets
1 per
11
game. He's like 4 or 5 points above.
Sam Bennett is better than Connor McDavid.
No, easily.
Yeah, and Austin Matthews.
Yep.
Okay, but here's the thing. Johnny Gaudreau has one after the season. Of course, he has 1 more year left on his contract, and it's been rumored for a while that he wants to play for his hometown. He's from New Jersey, but he grew up as a Flyers fan.
Oh no.
So my bet, and he's best friends with Kevin Hayes, by the way.
Ew.
So he's gonna go
So-
to Philadelphia.
So what if I'm Calgary? I start the rebuild now. They need a rebuild. I'm sorry. They've been retooling for so long, and it has been working.
I mean, here's my thing with
They
Calgary
have
is
good pieces.
they
They do.
have pieces. They have Lindholm, Hannafin,
But then you build
Dubé.
around that. You build around that
Yeah.
core. You rebuild. You stock up on draft picks.
Payne is really underrated
And
as well.
Mangiapane too,
Agreed.
yeah. And they're not
Mangiapane's good.
and they're not old either. It's not like
Yeah, no,
it's not like you
Lindholm's
got oh, you got
26.
3 years left with this no, you got 6, 7 more than that years.
And
And so you could definitely build around that. They need
But-
they like Shay said, they have their first line piece. They have a goalie, kind of. They have
capable defense.
yeah.
They have
If I was the GM of the Flames, this is who I'm building around. Right now, you kind of need to build around Markstrom because they gave him, kind of a big contract. But once Wolf is ready, he's their main go-to guy.
Yep.
Prospects: Jacob Peltier, Connor Zary, projected to be top 6 forwards. Defense: you build around Rasmus Anderson and you use Valmack as your top pairing. You got your righty, you got your lefty. In forwards, you got your future captain Kachuk, of course. You got Lindholm, you got Mangiapane, and you got Dylan Dubé. Those are your guys you build around. You just got to draft well.
but it's
Your
Calgary.
bottom 6, and
Well,
it is Calgary.
Calgary has to do what their big brother Edmonton does, but far worse.
what? Oh, you mean drafting?
No,
No,
tank.
Oh, tank.
suck.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
but because it's Calgary and they're the little brother,
They're gonna be
they
mediocre.
just can't do it.
I mean,
Like I called this a couple years ago, when James Neal was traded to Edmonton for Lucic. I said, watch, just to spite Calgary, Neal's gonna have like one good season, and then he had the good season.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, to be
Luke's
fair,
just having a
Lucic,
good
yeah.
season right now.
yeah.
Well, yeah, Lucic is doing good right now, and also he's going to Seattle.
No,
but,
he's
um,
staying. There's no. They're
They-
not taking that
they won't
contract.
take him.
Absolutely.
I
not.
don't
But,
think
um,
they'll take
Seattle
him.
takes
No.
Lucic, then Calgary 100,000,000% wins the trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
The only way they're taking Lucic is if Calgary's willing to give up Wolf,
No.
a good prospect, and a second-round pick, and my point, you don't trade Wolf.
Oh, absolutely.
No, not at all.
Question.
He's
No.
too good.
Yep.
So yeah, they're stuck with that contract for the next 2 years. Which, you know what? It's only 2 years left. It's not that bad.
And they should be rebuilding in those 2 years. So.
Yeah, exactly. Then when
He
it's the
could-
final, and here's the thing. This is the good thing. So his contract ends in 2022-2023. At the 2023 trade deadline day, he's gonna have 20 games left that season. He can retain half the money, and then he's tradable because he has 1 year left. So you just sell off your veterans, like even Giordano, right? He has 1 more year left. Chances are, he doesn't get protected. He doesn't get claimed by Seattle. In 2021, 2022, he will be 38 by the start of the season. That'll be his last NHL season, probably.
Probably.
So you just sell off the veterans, build around a young core, because since I live in Alberta, I get all the Edmonton games, but I also get all the Calgary games. And I don't know why this team is just so mediocre. It's not even funny. Like 2014-15, I'm gonna be honest, they kind of
Biased.
overachieved. Biased.
yeah, no, it
No,
was a
the-
joke. The Flames are
Oh.
mediocre.
They are mediocre. Like in 2015, they overachieved. They beat a very weak Vancouver team, and they got manhandled by the Ducks in 5.
Let's face it.
That's true.
In 15-16, they completely crapped the bed. So the next season, they make a couple of good changes. They bring in the actual capable goaltender Brian Elliott and Chad Johnson. Which, looking back at now, if that's your goaltending duo, I don't know how the hell you made the playoffs.
Oh.
But anyways, they did well in the season. They went on like a 10-game winning streak, and guess what? They got swept by the Ducks.
Okay, Calgary's last good Calgary hasn't had a good season since Mr. Racist coach got ousted.
No, I was. Let me get to that point. I'm about to get. No, let me finish my point. I was about to get to that. I was like 2 seasons away.
All right, go ahead, Shay.
Thank you. In 2017-18, you know what? A lot of people don't actually realize this, but Calgary, because here's the thing, Calgary actually had a really good start to the season 2017-2018. That was the year they gave up 2 firsts for Travis Hamonic, which
Mega
which is something. So I remember it was the 11th of February, right? They were 29-19-8. That's a damn good record. That's a really good record. 29-19-8. That's the game Mike Smith got injured. And then and he came back on the 31st. Calgary won on 2 6-game losing streaks when Mike Smith was injured. So it wasn't that in that year they were a bad team. It was just terrible injury luck. If Mike Smith was healthy, chances are the Flames make the playoffs that year. So you flash forward to the next season, 18-19, Racist Man gets hired as the coach.
Yeah. Wait.
And guess what? The Flames finished first in the West. But this is also a season where all of their roster went sicko mode. Gaudreau got 99 points. Monahan got 82. Elias Lindholm, first year in Calgary, got 78.
That's when he broke out.
Giordano was what? Let me do the math. He was like 35. He won in Norris that year. Kachuk had 77 points. Their depth showed up. And guess what? They lost to the Avs in 5. Now you go to last season, 1920. Then you go to last season, 1920. Racist Man gets fired because he's a racist. They bring in Jeff Ward. They go on a 6-game winning streak. They fall down a bit. Trade down. They don't make any moves. COVID happens. They squeak into the play-ins. Beat the Jets because they're a dirty team, and they killed Line and someone else I forgot. I think it was Scheifele. And guess what? They have a 2-1 series lead against the weak Dallas Stars. This was their chance to make it to the second round to show, hey, we are playoff contenders. We can do this. They then in Game 4, 10 seconds left. Pavelski ties it. Klingberg OT winner. And in Game 6, they had a 3-0 lead in the first 10 minutes. They completely blow it. Make some big changes in the offseason. Start of the season was a disaster. Fires their coach, hires Daryl Sutter for some reason.
Daryl Sutter the best.
They go on a 3-game win streak. Then you lose 7 straight. And now look at where they are now. Like, at this point, they have to rebuild. They've been retooling for 7 years. And it hasn't gotten them anywhere. It's gotten them 3 playoff appearances. All first-round exits. And all those years, they lose in dramatic fashion. Whether it's a sweep against Anaheim, getting manhandled by the Nathan McKinnon Avs, or blowing a Game 6 when you have a 3-0 lead in the first 10 minutes.
That kind of sounds like Toronto.
Like, I honestly didn't need a rebuild. Like, there's no other way around it. But the thing is, they gave out term to Tanev and Markstrom, so can you really rebuild if you're giving out term to these veterans who signed in Calgary to try to win a Stanley Cup? You know, it's just...
I don't understand why they put Daryl Sutter as the head coach.
Because they're stupid!
Daryl Sutter is somehow worse than John Hines.
His system just doesn't fit in the league anymore. That's it. It's not that Daryl Sutter's a bad coach. He really is. He won 2 Stanley Cups for a reason. It's a different league. Like I seen it with Ken Hitchcock here in Edmonton. As soon as the Flames hired Sutter, it's like, this is going to be Hitchcock 2.0, and I was right.
Yeah, I mean, like the Flames, they can't get rid of that Markstrom contract either. Isn't he on a no movement clause?
Probably.
Yeah, no movement clause.
Oof.
Yeah, they decided that they felt that they were good. They were good. I felt that they were pretty solid too. I thought they could be second in the division.
Yeah, the
This
mediocrity
year.
reminds me of the Minnesota Wild. Remember how they're like the funnest NHL team nowadays, but I
Yeah.
mean, constantly, wild card, third in the division, maybe. Losing in the first round pretty handily. Losing, maybe getting to the second round, but then getting manhandled. Like
Well,
it
that's
was
the thing,
always
though.
either first, second round.
The Wild, the Wild were, and well, they no longer are because of some players on their team. They were mediocre,
Mm-hmm.
and they were mediocre because of Parise and Sutter. Because while they were still solid players, they were taking up, I think it was 25% of the cap hit. Just those two players, so
Yeah.
they were mediocre. They could never get far enough in the playoffs to even be good. But
And they're
that's not
constantly injured as well, those two guys. They could never stay
yeah,
healthy, and that makes it a lot worse.
that's not an issue with Calgary though. Calgary just
No.
They just suck.
Calgary's just
And here's the thing. I want to speak about Sean Monahan for a sec. He isn't the greatest defensive player. And when I mean not the greatest, I mean he's completely horrible. And he's turning 27. So you know what? He's not that old. He's still in his prime. He'll be good for another 5-6 years before he starts going down. And he gets 2 years left at 6.8. Right now, if I was a GM who wants Sean Monahan, Calgary would need to A, include a sweetener, and B, retain some cap space on that contract. Because he isn't worth 6.8 right now. And he hasn't shown he's at first line, second line center. Well, okay, second line, sure, but not first line center in this league. So I think Sean Monahan actually has negative value. Because he's just been so bad the last 2 seasons.
who would want Sean Monahan? Like
London.
who's in the need for? Who's okay? Yeah.
Like there's I remember reading an article, and it's from an NHL insider, by the way, for the Flames. So connections. The 2 days before Jacob Markstrom signed in Calgary. No, sorry, it was 2 days before the NHL draft. Calgary had a trade in place of Columbus with Sean Monahan and Sam Bennett for Josh Anderson and Jonas Corposalo. The thing is, Columbus wanted Calgary to retain Monahan's cap hit. They didn't do that, and later we know what happens. Anderson for Max Domi. So we know that Columbus wants Monahan. We know that Calgary's been trying to stop him. We know that Calgary's been trying to stop Monahan, but he should have done last offseason. Now, if you're trying to trade him at his lowest point, you're screwed. Because Lindholm is the first line center now, and Backlund's had a better season. You can make an argument that he's the second line center, which leaves Monahan as the 3C, making almost $7 million for 2 more years.
Matt Duchene moment.
I mean, I'd rather have Monahan than do shit. So,
I like hindsight 2020. If I'm Columbus, I take that deal that almost happened, and I don't
that's
ask them.
That's a great deal for Columbus.
And I don't ask them to retain salary because look how awful Domi is.
Well, it wasn't for Domi. It was Josh Anderson and Corposalo.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, hindsight 2020, they could either have, Monahan
and Bennett,
and Bennett or Domi. And if I'm Columbus,
well, I don't blame Domi for his struggles because he has freaking John Tortorella as a coach.
Yes.
Which really made it. We already talked about Torts before. We don't want to start another argument.
But there's gotta just be, there's gotta be a fine line with, like, when it comes to Calgary, who's even available for a coach to hire? Oh, do they want Babcock?
Oh no! Here's the thing. Sutter signed for 2 more seasons. He signed a 3-year deal.
You're joking.
I'm not joking. I wish I was joking and trolling, I'm not-
No, he's
I
just
totally
No,
forgot about that. They're screwed.
no. Wait,
They're
wait,
so
wait.
screwed.
You're telling me right now that okay, is Daryl Sutter the interim head coach or is he the head
No.
coach? Head
he's
coach.
the head coach.
No, he's the head coach. Like he's in the team. He's there.
And-
He's gonna be there for 3
and-
years.
And he's signed
Yep.
for 2 more.
It says Sutter has signed for the remainder of this season and through
Yep.
2022-2023 for your LeBron.
I am going to jump out of my window. That is
Why?
awful.
No, that makes you
Why
happy.
are you killing
Yeah, forget Calgary.
I mean, at least another team gets to be in coach woes like my team is.
Man, I just feel bad for Jeff Ward. He got so much shit from Flame fans and it wasn't even his fault.
Yeah, no, it was literally a situation of going from bad to worse.
Yeah.
You know, like going from whatever his name I can't think of his name right now to Ducharme.
Ducharme? What?
Whatever.
Demarche? Ducharme?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, Montreal?
Yeah, I just had a brain fart.
You shire me.
Wait, I said Ducharme? What the?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, you
Charmin
got you.
You almost had it?
I'm the.
You shire me ultrasound.
You know what? I may not be able to pronounce names, but I got 3 trades correct.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, breaking news, though. Oh, my God. Evan Bouchard's playing today.
No way! Let's go! Let's go! Londonite's
You're-
legend!
You're scratching Barry. Oh, finally. Oh, my dreams have come true.
Barry's still getting an 8
Yeah,
Wow.
8 million. Yep, 8 by
In
5.
Vancouver, though. In Vancouver.
Extension.
No. No,
Who
what's
is-
going to happen?
who is your GM? Who is your GM?
Yeah.
Who is your
No,
GM?
no. Hey.
Who's your
wait,
GM?
wait. Hey. Wait.
Who's your GM?
Hey, wait. Just wait. Let me finish. What's going to happen is Barry's going to go home to Vancouver for 1 year at $4 million. Then January 1st, he signs the 8x8 given by Benning.
No.
Yes.
Who is your GM? Is your GM
Me.
the same? Is your GM the same man who signed Franz Nielsen to a $5 million deal at 32 years old?
Actually, he isn't. That was Hen Holland. We have Ken Holland.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Well, no, that's the same GM. You have no words.
Oh no.
You just don't know what to say.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
No, but yeah, Ross is still right. Holland sucks. He's gonna re-sign Barry for 8 times 5.
At least it's
Hey.
not Chiarelli.
You know
Like
what?
my brain.
I rather freaking you know, I rather have Ira as a GM.
What would you?
He might trade McDavid for Crosby, but it's better than anything Chiarelli would have done.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, he'd just
Yeah.
trade everybody to Pittsburgh because he'd want Pittsburgh to succeed.
That's an interesting question. If would Pittsburgh like who would accept this trade? McDavid? What's his face? Draisaitl and Nuge.
Wow, fake fan, dude.
Hey, it's called a brain fart. Who would accept the trade? Dry, Connor, and Nuge in exchange for Frederick Gaudreau, Cody Ceci, and Mike Matheson.
What kind of question is that?
Who?
What kind of
Which
question is
GM
that?
am I? Which GM am
question?
I?
No.
Which
If any-
GM am I? Am I Pittsburgh or am I Edmonton?
You're Ken Holland.
You're Ira.
I'm Ken Holland. Am I Ken Holland in the Detroit Red Wings mindset where he just made the most idiotic moves ever?
Oh, if
to
you're
try
Ken
to
Holland,
keep-
then you say no. Obviously,
try to
because
keep the
you
playoff
take
No,
streak
if you're
going?
Ken Holland,
You take the L. If you're Ken Holland.
no,
You know?
if you're Ken Holland, you're taking that. Cody Ceci's elite, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
Taking
to
Cody
say.
Ceci, you're signing him for
No, that's what
6
I'm
years,
trying to
$5
say.
million per.
See,
That's what I'm trying to
See,
say.
like-
That's what I'm trying
You know
to
what?
say.
If
Holland's
Barry-
so dumb.
if-
He would say no to that.
No. You guys.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
All right. Let's enough with the jokes. Let's just talk about the most elite defenseman in the NHL.
Martin Marincin.
No, just kidding. Eric
Erica
Goodbranson.
Branson.
Did you know he has a point for us?
Very good friends.
He has a
Whoa.
point for us.
Shit, wow.
Yeah,
Congrats.
a point.
I
You know
can't,
who
you know
does?
what?
You know who doesn't
No.
have a point this year? Kucherov, Jonathan
That's true.
Taves.
That is true. That is
We got
true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Did you know that Tyler Sagan and Erica Branson are tied in goals?
W.
Wow.
Okay, but
Good
job.
here's the thing: is Tyler
from the
Sagan
Branson.
Eric Goodbranson?
No.
Exactly.
Yes.
But
That's
what
my
are
point.
we
And
even
defense is
doing
hard-
anymore?
And as a team man, it's harder to score.
Oh my god. Oh, how long have we been doing this for?
I don't know.
Let me just check right now.
I
How much?
love these episodes. I love these episodes where we
wait.
just go off.
Oh man, I kind of want to come back to Tom Wilson because I forgot one thing. Nick did his research and we forgot to talk about it.
Oh my
what's
god,
up?
bro! It's been
Oh,
55
shit.
minutes. My computer's literally gonna die trying to edit this.
5
thing.
minutes. It's just we can spend 5 more minutes on this. Hold up. All right. So yada yada yada. Let's go back to Tom Wilson for 1 second.
All right, I'm Tom Wilson.
No, you're not.
Okay.
You
What
are.
do you-
are
what?
you
Why
are.
would you
you
want to
say-
be
you
Tom
say-
Wilson?
you
Do you
say
hear
what-
yourself talk?
You say one more word, I'm gonna mute you. Okay? All right. Go ahead, Shay.
All right. So Wilson's first suspension was 2 games, of course, for a hit to Robert Thomas. Then that same week, then a couple weeks later, he boarded Sammy Blake, got 4 games. Then Nick mentioned it, the Zach Ashton Reese hit, he got 3 games. So it's slowly going up. Then Wilson got 7 games. Wilson got 20 games for that Oscar Sundqvist hit, which, by the way, Wilson just loves targeting the Blues players, I guess.
Yeah, it's all the same team. I was just gonna say that.
It's like, what grudge does Tom Wilson have against St. Louis? Jeez.
And Ryan Reeves used to play for St. Louis as well, so he's got something against them for sure.
Oh, yeah. And so that was 20 games, reduced to 14.
Jordan
Then
Shittington.
Shut up! Then 2021, this is like a week before COVID. So Wilson got suspended 7 games. Then 2 months later, when everyone was at home thinking, "Wow, COVID's so bad," which by the way, COVID 1 year ago wasn't even that bad. So rip. But anyways, he got fined $5,000. So the fact that his suspension, first of all, the lack of suspension, of course, is like, what the hell? But the fact that if he did get suspended, it would have been a lot of games, probably. And I really hope that the NHL, whenever they hire
Yeah, when you look at the history, and there's a certain rule. I forget exactly how many games it is, but if you play a certain amount of games and you don't get fined, suspended, you're considered to not be a repeat offender, which I think is fine. But I'm pretty sure it's only like 100 and something isn't a repeat offender anymore. I think that rule is so stingy just because of the shortage of games it takes to not become a repeat offender, because that's the last time suspended March 6th? I mean, he's still considered a repeat offender. So it's just, when you look at that, you look at his history, it's pretty mind-boggling to see him not get suspended.
You know what's funny? You know how we're just talking about oldies pest and stuff? Brad Marchand just tried to take a run at Mackenzie Blackwood.
Of course he
did. I kind of find it funny how we're just talking about.
Wow.
I mean, it's not surprising.
Yeah, my English teacher who doesn't know anything about hockey, he was making a reference because we were doing archetypes or something like that, and he was talking about how garbage Brad Marchand was. Yeah, he's never watched a hockey game in his life, and that's what he was talking about.
Man, Brad Marchand is arguably the second best player on that team, or maybe even the best.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, here's a question. Will Caps fans be as fun to find salt of as Vancouver fans?
What?
Because Vancouver, remember when they came back and Nylander scored a goal and celebrated, and they all started whining on Twitter?
No.
Wait,
I don't
when was
go on
that?
Twitter.
I
Okay,
don't know when that
so
was.
when the Canucks came back from being out with COVID,
Oh yeah.
and it was the first game back against Toronto, Nylander scores the goal. Nylander celebrates. Every
Oh, I thought you
Canucks
said the
fan,
Islanders. No, I remember
no,
that.
Oh,
every
Nyland.
Canucks fan just starts crying and everything. So
Yeah,
do
I
you
remember
think
that.
we'll get the same kind of assault from Capitals fans if something happens?
Actually, I don't actually see a lot of Caps fans protecting him. It's just the
Oh.
dumbass is like redacted in Tundra. And if you're watching this, you know who you are.
But can we end the
I've
Hyman?
seen
Can we
some vocal Caps
Yeah.
fans. I've seen some vocal ones out there say their opinions, and they're all wrong, but we'll ignore that.
But
I
yeah,
mean-
I think this ends the Hyman Wilson debate. Forget it. It's not close
Yeah.
anymore.
I think it does too.
It's not close anymore. Okay.
But somehow Grease will still defend him.
Yeah. Somehow.
I haven't seen Gleeds defend him yet.
He has.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but I said that that redacted was acting a lot like Ira does when Ira defends Matt Cook.
I can't believe.
And here's the funny thing: Redacted isn't even a Caps fan.
Oh yeah.
Redacted is redacted fan.
Yes.
He also likes a certain type of toothpaste called Redacted.
when it's so yeah, Sensodine's still better.
I don't
Okay,
use
so
toothpaste.
there's
I
actually
use
one more piece
water.
of news that we need to talk about. It won't take that long.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So the Canucks just announced this, and it's a follow-up to the McFlurry.
What?
Oh
Uh-oh.
yeah. Just in case you guys don't remember, Nate Schmidt bought Brendan Sutter a McFlurry.
McFlurry. And yeah, but now this time it's the other way around. Brandon Sutter bought Nate Schmidt because Nate Schmidt scored last night. He bought him a Frosty from Wendy's.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
That's nice. He's playing
They're
Max
too
favor.
They're too cheap to buy each
That's
other
cool.
blizzards from Dairy Queen.
Absolutely not. That's just
Blizzards
nice.
are awesome.
I know they are, but it's not. That's just nice. Okay, come on, boys. All right, my laptop's like literally gonna die trying to export this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I swear to
All right.
God.
Let me
What?
talk. Let me talk about one more thing because it hits close to my heart as a London Knights fan.
Okay.
Michael
Mhm.
Hauser.
Oh yeah.
How good is
yeah.
that story? Of him
Unless
being
you're
in the
Islanders fan.
ECHL for so long. Unless you're, but yeah, I've watched Michael Hauser when he was with the Knights. I mean, he was such a great goalie when he was with them, and he's come such a long way being in the ECHL for so long, and just being sort of a whatever goalie, and then he gets brought up to the Sabres, who, yeah, haha, let's joke about the Sabres, but he won,
Yeah.
and he's been
And
a
35
solid
saves.
goalie for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
and in the OHL, he was great in the OHL. He was goaltender of the year in the CHL. He won the Red Tilson in the OHL, which that's actually the most outstanding player. So as a goaltender, he was the best out of everybody. So
Wow.
I think it's really cool
And,
to see, and again, it hits close to home for me. So
That's
it's really
great.
cool to see.
And one more thing about Buffalo, they signed someone named Stefanos Lekas. I never heard of this guy in my life.
So
You say stank ass?
no. Okay, so I want to say
Oh.
something. There's a certain other redacted in the server who said that the only reason that the youngest team in the NHL didn't make the playoffs last year was because of a certain bald coach.
Wait,
I
who are we
don't
talking
know.
about?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. There's a lot of bald coaches.
Now. Who are we talking about?
Who's the youngest
No,
team in the
Every coach is
NHL?
bald.
The Devils?
Yes.
Oh, they didn't make. What the hell does he? Oh, is it Matt?
Yeah, Matt said that the only reason they didn't make the playoffs last year was
That's-
because of Hines.
That's cap.
They didn't make the playoffs because they're donkey.
Exactly.
And no, this year, no Hines, but they still aren't close.
Just a reminder that the Devils signed Simmons to a 1x5. Maybe that's why they didn't make the playoffs.
Just a reminder that the Devils
Because
the
the Devils
Devils.
won the PK Subban trade.
No, we did.
No, PK's like goat. You don't understand. All right.
All right, thank you
That's
for
enough.
listening to that episode of the Tundra Cast.
Yeah.
We're done.